Hey, this is Skeleton Key, and it is Thursday? Thursday. It is Thursday, the 3rd of September. Yeah, pandemic time is strange. But anyway, it is September, and I am participating in several readathons this month. There's the Bookoplathon, which by now I'm sure you have watched my TBR video in which I actually like roll dice and stuff. So that's kind of fun. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. If I can figure out how to do the cards thing so that you could click on something here, I will do that. I don't know how to do that. I should learn how to do that because not knowing how to do that is really kind of. So there's Bookoplathon. And then at the Seasons of Reading blog, they are doing Frightfall. And in the past, I've always done that on Twitter. It's just hashtag Frightfall. And it's a readathon in that you're supposed to read lots of books, and you're encouraged to read lots of like horror and mystery and that sort of thing, scary books or dark books. But the only actual requirement is that you read one. That even if horror is not your thing, that it's something a little bit darker than your usual read. So I like the flexibility of that. And I read a lot of mystery. And even though I should have other priorities right now, I want to kick off with an actual mystery. So I'm going to go ahead and start in on Whiskey Sour by J.A. Conrath. I guess Conrath. I'm listening to The Sorrows of Young Werther. Yeah, it's Werther. So now that's the nice thing about listening to an audiobook, is that now I have some idea how to pronounce it, because my German is really, really sketchy. And I'm listening to that, and that was my first roll on Bookoplathon. I landed on the translated square, and I don't like reading books in translation if I can avoid it, because I've read some books. Like I can read French, Italian, and some Spanish. Yeah, low level Spanish pretty well. So those books I try to read. If I can muddle through it in the original language, I do. And some of those I've read in both the English translation and then the original French or Italian or whatever. And so often, even if it's a good translation, it's just a very different thing. It's I mean, I think translators really ought to be listed as co-authors, because they're bringing so much of themselves to it as well. And I like studying languages, but I don't think I could ever be a translator, because I would give up in frustration, because it's so complicated trying to interpret somebody else's thoughts into a language where things might not quite fit, because there's so much that just doesn't translate. And then if you get a bad translation, which does happen, you don't know. If you like, I can't read Chinese. So if I read something translated from Chinese, and I don't like it, I'm like, well, I don't know if I don't like the book or I don't like the translation. So I do. I try to avoid translated works, but my German is crap. So and this book was on in that collection. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll read this in English, and they've got it on audiobook. through Hoopla. So I'm listening to that. It is. I had read something that said it was a journal, and I was like, "Ooh, I get to use it for the written as a journal prompt." And it's not. It's pretty clearly epistolary, so not a journal. So I've done some hunting, and I've found something else that'll work for that. So looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm listening to The Sorrows of Young Werther. It's a short autobiographical novel about, I think it's just a summer, but anyway, the author, this character who's really the author, as a young man goes on vacation or something somewhere. Anyway, he falls in love with this woman, and it's all about his unrequited love for her, and he's writing his friend, and it's fine. It's okay. I really don't care about this dude and his unrequited love. I'm just like, dude, get over it. She's not into you. So one of the other challenges that I'm working on, it's the I'm trying to wrap up the summer challenge that Pop Sugar put out. And there were 20 prompts, and I think I'm down to 4 that I need to get finished. And of course, they didn't specify an end date for summer, so I was thinking, well, Labor Day, right? But then I got to thinking, oh, well, maybe we should just go a little further into September and do autumnal equinox. And I was cool with that. And then now they're predicting snow for next Tuesday. So, yeah, I guess I'm going with Labor Day. So I'm trying to read 4 books by Labor Day, and some of which I'm not enthused about. But I decided, especially since 2 of the readathons I'm doing are, well, there's Readers Imbibing Peril, number 15, this September and October, and then Frightful, which is September and October. And of course, those both encourage reading horror, mystery, that sort of thing. I'm going to go with Whiskey Sour by J.A. Conrath, and I'm about 10% into it now. It's kind of a standard police procedural, but it's also a serial killer thriller. I'm not crazy about serial killers to begin with. And then it does that thing where it switches between the investigator's perspective, and the detective on this case, the lieutenant, it's a first person perspective, and then it switches to the killer's perspective, and in this case it's a close third person perspective. And I'm not crazy about that. I don't actively avoid it, but all the while I'm just like, do I want to? But it's not a deal breaker, so I'm gonna keep on with it. The thing that's really getting me about this is that, of course, the FBI profilers are called in, and they're written as being they're 2 agents, FBI agents, and they're written as being really, really stupid. And then there's all this territorial bullshit that, I mean, I've worked for agencies that worked with the FBI. I mean, in New Mexico, it was the agency I worked for worked very closely with the FBI a lot of times. So maybe it's different with Chicago, but I am not used to this relationship being adversarial. And so it kind of bugs me whenever mystery writers, present it as such, and it's just really bothering me. And of course, one of the, I can't remember which special agent, but one of them is just there for exposition purposes. I keep calling him Special Agent Exposition. So I don't know. I'm not loving this so far, but I'm going to give it a chance, so we'll see. I found this fancy looking eggplant at Lucky's the other day, so I'm caramelizing some onion, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably make some pasta, toss in some tomato. I don't know. Well, it'll just be an experiment. Hey there. Back with another beer and book pairing. I'm reading Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. And it's about these two teenage boys in Texas, in El Paso, Texas. And they drink a lot of beer, so I thought, hey, I should get a beer. So I'm going with Odell's Sipping Pretty. So I'm going with Sipping Pretty, a fruited sour. And it's from, can you see it? But it's from Odell, which is a local brewery here. And anyway, I thought they drink beer, and it's sort of a bittersweet story. So, and it's set during summer, and I thought this had a really summery image on it, on the can, hummingbird and all that. So I thought that would be a good fit, and I'm liking it. I've had sours before that I wasn't really crazy about. Those I think were from New Belgium though, so maybe I just don't like New Belgium sours, or just the ones that I just happened to try. So, but this one's really good. I like Odell. So this is the eggplant stuff I made last night. It's not very appetizing, but it is very tasty. I think next time I'll maybe add some red bell pepper or more tomato or something to give it a little bit more color. So I read a little bit more on Whiskey Sour this morning. I'm just going to have to DNF it. A bunch of stuff that if it'd just been the one thing, I probably would have continued, but there was just too much stuff that, okay, first off, it's a serial killer novel. I don't really care for serial killer stories. They're okay sometimes, but then there was the whole, switching back and forth between the cop's POV and the killer's POV. Not crazy about that. But then there's just, the whole candy thing. The bad guy doctors up a bunch of candy and reseals the bag and sneaks into the police parking lot and breaks into her car and leaves it there, and then she and her partner are like, oh hey, candy. I'm like, I don't know any cop who would react like that without suspicion. That's just a lieutenant. How do you make lieutenant and not? Yeah, no. And also, this is 21st century Chicago. How is the police parking lot not under surveillance? Yeah, no. How? There's just too much of that. Maybe this was written in the 80s and it just didn't get published until like '04 or whatever. But there was just too much that no, I can't do this. So, sorry. No. DNF. And I don't think I will replace this. I was reading this mainly because it had a cocktail on the cover, and that was a prompt for the Pop Sugar Summer Challenge. At this point, the summer is ending Monday. We're getting snow on Tuesday, apparently. And the air quality is awful, and bears are roaming the city, and this year, I swear. But anyway, I'm not gonna replace it. I'm just gonna take the hit and roll that prompt over to next year. Back to Bookoplathon. I just finished The Sorrows of Young Werther, which I read for the translated square, where Patience the cat is right now. And it was okay. It was very 18th century emo. Uh, I'll talk more about it later, I guess. Um, and the funny thing is, this is for the translation prompt, but I don't know who translated this edition. I can't find it anywhere. Who the actual translator was, so I don't know. So now I am back for my next role. So we've got Patience the cat there on the translated square. Hello, editing Stina here, and yeah, so I don't know what, my phone was just being really weird, and the camera was flipping things sideways and upside down, and I hope that if I take out those things, that maybe YouTube will let me upload my video. So anyway, all that just to say that, yeah, I'm taking out huge chunks of video. This particular At this particular point, it's I rolled a 5 and a 3 and moved 8 spaces and landed on POC rep. So, there you go. Sorry you don't get the excitement of watching me roll the dice. So, it's Sunday night, and apparently today was National Read a Book Day. And I feel kind of like a fraud because I didn't actually read much at all today. But I did read some on, probably what I read the most of was The Mothers by Brett Bennett. The Vanishing Half has been getting a lot of really good buzz lately, and I believe The Mothers was her debut novel. And I got a copy of that on the Volumes app, which that's Penguin Random House's audiobook app, and I think this was a free download just to try the app. Honestly, I'm not loving their app. I'm enjoying the book. It's it's not my kind of book really. It's, contemporary fiction. I'm not far enough into the story to really know what it's about. But I like the writing style, and the characters seem to be really well drawn. So I think I'm probably gonna like the story. Just see where it goes. But the app I'm not terribly impressed with. I much prefer Hoopla and Audible and Libro FM. All three of their apps are, I don't know, how their functionality I think is better. I think this will be my POC rep read for Bookoplathon. So, unless I happen to finish something else first. I actually have quite a few reads either on my TBR upcoming or that I've already started that would count for POC rep. So, like Slice of Cherry, or I don't know. We'll just kind of see, but this may very well end up being my POC rep read for that. Yeah, so this is what the sky looks like at my house at 1:30 in the afternoon. And it's actually darker than it looks like because the camera's making allowances. But yeah, this is the last day of summer. I really can't wait for the snow to get here and do something about the fires. Since it is Labor Day And the last day of summer, I am making a s'more. Here we go. I've forgotten how long. Forgotten how long I do these for. I like watching the marshmallows puff up. Well, Hoopla came to my rescue for the Pop Sugar Summer Reading Challenge. Because I gave up on Whiskey Sour. I DNF'd that one pretty thoroughly, I think. I don't think I'll pick that one back up again. And I just couldn't muster any enthusiasm for Summer of 42. I may go back to that one someday. I don't know. Just not right now. I just not interested in it right now. So I thought I had 3 prompts left. They were a summer drink or cocktail on the cover, the word summer in the title, and something you might find at the beach. Let's see, an item you would find at the beach in the title. And so I just went onto Hoopla, and into the search box I just plunked summer drink. And the first thing, well, the only thing that popped up was this Betty Crocker book of 20 best summer drink recipes. And I'm like, that works. That fits all 3 prompts. So, and it was like 50 some pages. I just flipped right through it. Some of the drinks actually look pretty good. I'm really not in a drink making mood right now. Man, those look like work. It's like juice 8 lemons. I'm like, no, I am not doing that. And a lot of them called for soy milk, which I can't really do soy. So some of the drinks though, I might actually go look that one up again. You know, someday when I'm actually in the mood to fix drinks or have a party or something, I might go back and do that. Look at those. There was I'm trying to remember if there were any that stood out. Some of the chai, like chai chiller kind of things, and yeah, I might try those someday. For now though, I'm going to wrap up my first vlog for my fall readathons. I don't think I've actually gone through and listed everything that I'm doing this month, but this I'll just go ahead and close out this vlog because you can hear my voice is just not real happy about being pressed into service today with all the smoke in the air. It's gotten in the house. It's pretty bad. So I'm going to, I think, put on an audiobook or something and maybe do some embroidery work, or I don't know. Oh, I should do dishes. I don't, but it's a holiday. It feels really weird not doing something, because even as a young child, you know, there was always, Labor Day weekend was always a really special weekend. We'd go to Lake of the Ozarks, which is probably open and doing booming business this weekend, and people are gonna die of COVID. And one year I went to the Hatch Chili Festival in Hatch, New Mexico. That was awesome. But this year it's just, oh, hey, look at the sky. The sky looks weird. Oh, look at the coating of ash on everything. This is just a weird Labor Day. But I'm going to close out my vlog and get back to my s'more, which is quite tasty. It's not the same as a campfire s'more, but yeah, this part of Colorado, it smells like a campfire, so I guess no, it's still not working. But anyway, if you're so inclined, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you around.